The purpose of the Global CFO Council is to provide an educational and networking forum for senior financial executives in order to share best practices, discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their jobs.
Good morning. How are you doing today, Renata?
Very good. And you?
I'm very excited to get to talk to you. Am I have three of these Meet a Member videos today. If anybody sees me in the same shirt, and I get to talk to you today in Brazil, and then Namibia is another member later today, and then Ontario, Canada. So I feel like a globetrotter, like Mr. Worldwide. I feel like a celebrity. So thank you for talking with me today.
Well, very excited to be talking to a celebrity. Doesn't happen very often.
Renata Moraes is the Latin American CFO of Reckitt, and I think you got your undergrad in business at the University of Rio de Janeiro, which I said before. My dad was born in Rio, so I feel really embarrassed. I know absolutely no Portuguese. I think you also got your MBA in corporate finance and an executive MBA in finance from the London School of Economics. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Member of WeQual, a frequent speaker, and speaking of speaking, I think you know Portuguese, obviously English amazingly, and I think a little bit of Francese. Is that correct?
Well, I lived in France. I lived in France for 3 years, and I learned there that there is no way that you can survive in France if you don't manage to speak at least a little bit.
Well, I am excited to get to talk to you. Let's get right into question number one. Renata,
Perfect.
what is your favorite business book and why?
Well, I think I have some favorite like business books. Probably to pick one is the Smarter, Faster, Better of Charles Duhigg. I, I read it when I was while I was living in London, and it was my reading book in the metro, going commuting to the office, and it gives quite insightful tips, yeah, that you and practical ones that you can apply very easily in your day to day. And it always starts like each chapter with a story. So I think somehow it illustrated to me how impactful it is when you are communicating, if you start like with a story to set the tone and set the pictures, and then you explain the more technical stuff. I think for as a finance person, usually we start like straight into the numbers, and I try to change my approach after reading this book. So for me, it was very helpful.
Renata, what about the best advice that you have ever received?
I used this a lot. I received it probably a few years ago when I was returning from my first maternity leave. And I use it a lot, like on every aspect of my life. It's be where you are. And I will tell you why. Because when I returned from maternity leave, I struggled a lot because my first days back at the office, while I was at the office, I was thinking of my baby and worried about my baby at home and willing to be at home. And when I was back home, I was feeling guilt because I was not like doing the things that I had at work. I was not totally focused on work. So I was feeling guilt all the time, basically. And then, like a mentor of mine, she said to me, "Be where you are. When you are at the office, you are concentrated at your job, yeah, and you are doing the best that you can. But when you are back at home and you with your baby, you take the most out of it." And I think it applies for everything in life, right? Sometimes you are in a meeting and you're thinking about something else, and you're not really paying attention at what people are telling you in the meeting, and then like one day later you realize that you didn't pay attention. You need to catch up because you need the information that they were presenting there, and it happens all the time. So you become much more productive if you do like this. I think it's easier because to engage with people because they see that you were there, that you are paying attention, that you are caring about what they are saying, and it's much more respectful as well. So I use this advice every day in my life, and it requires some discipline. It's not that easy all the time.
How powerful and what great advice to just be present in the moment. And I also I find myself challenged with that. So I think that is great advice. And also I think some of us, we're planners and we're strategic thinkers, but that could mean that you're not present in the moment because you're always thinking about the future. And the future's not going to happen unless you do really well in the moment. So you have to be present. So very powerful advice to start the morning. Well done.
Thank
Question
you.
number 3. What is a tool that you have recently started using or a habit that you've recently picked up that you have found beneficial?
Well, I think it's more like a habit, and it's quite simple. Yeah, I'll tell you why. So the COVID pandemic started, like I think as most of everyone in the world, like personal life and like professional life got very mixed, right? We were at home working all day, so meetings until um, very late at night, no breaks for lunch, no interaction, no time for a coffee. And I think my first 6 months were horrible, probably as many people around the world, right? And then after 6 months, I said, well, this will last for more. I cannot go on like this. And I started to be disciplined again about my schedule and about my my personal life as well. I'm trying to have a balance between them. And I decided to exercise and to look after my health and all this, do this nice stuff. But after some time, I realized that it was not like I was not getting much better. Yeah, and then I decided to do like a small test. Like I put a device close to my heart for 4 days. It was not to monitor my heart, but to monitor my sleep actually. Yeah, and then I saw the results, I realized that for some reason my brain was disconnecting only after like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And I go to bed at 11, yeah, 11 p.m. or midnight. So it was taking my brain a long time for it to disconnect because of two things. One, because of caffeine that I learned. So I decided to stop having caffeine after 5 p.m. And I'm very addicted to caffeine, so it's not that easy. Yeah. And the other thing is like our mobile phones. Yeah. Before I used to go to bed, like I was like checking my mails or just like looking at the mobile phone, like browsing the internet. And I learned that, well, if you were still reading or like focusing on what is going on in the world, at the office and everything, when you go to bed, then your brain will take some time to disconnect. So I decided, okay, give them at least half an hour before I go to sleep of disintoxication. Let me detox, yeah, of technology, and it helped. So the quality of my sleep improved a lot, and then I get up in the morning much more refreshed, and then I could see the benefits of all the changes that I decided to do to focus on my health as well. So I feel much better and much more energized now.
Renata, that is brilliant advice that I needed to hear this morning. I think I have the same challenge because of the same issues. So excellent. I needed to
Yeah,
hear that.
many people
Renata,
have this challenge, I think.
especially right now because you're constantly checking the phone because we're mobile remote and there's so much going on in the world. And
Exactly.
what great advice to take a little time away from all that. Maybe have a conversation with a family member or to just meditate or just think something other than looking at my phone. So great
Yeah,
advice.
I do puzzles or Legos. That's what I do to somehow alleviate the stress.
Question number 4. What is your favorite part of your current job?
Uh, Definitely the interaction with people, with everyone. Yeah, one of the beauties of finance for me is this opportunity that it gives you to interact with all the functions across the organization, and not only like internal like people, but externally as well. Yeah, so like I think this view of the finance people sitting, yeah, in your desk, looking at your computer, yeah, doing number crunching every day, it's so outdated because there is so much more that you can do. And this is the part that I like. So interacting with people all the time. There are a lot of complex situations for us to find a solution, yeah, in our daily lives. Yeah, and these interactions, yeah, gives me energy.
Renata, what about something personal that you wouldn't mind sharing about yourself with the rest of the CFO Council members?
Definitely. So I have 4 kids at home. Yeah, I have 2 little ones, 5 and 7, 2 boys. So they are my kids with my husband. But my husband, he has 2 kids from his previous marriage, 14 and 18, a boy and a girl. And they have been living with us for many years already. So I always say that it's a busy home, but like probably in the pandemic, it was so nice to have like a busy home because we couldn't feel like completely isolated because in our home every day is a party with like six people and the 4 kids, right? And different ages, different challenges as well. And then I always say that my husband, he probably felt that it was not like exciting already, and he decided to get 2 little cats during the pandemic. And so we have the 4 kids and the 2 cats, and working from home. And my kids are very famous, like at my work, because they interrupt all the meetings and they say hi and everything. Yeah, so it's super cool.
I love that. That's hilarious. Things were not exciting enough with a 5, 7, 14, and 18-year-old. So your husband picks up 2 cats.
Exactly. Yeah. One day he arrived here, like, sweetheart, listen, what do you think about this? Like, oh, not sure it's a good idea, but here, here we are.
Question number 6, last question. It happened so fast. What is something that I should have asked you, but I didn't? And what is your answer to that?
I think it probably why did I decide to work on finance? Yeah, and what do I like about it? Well, to be honest, I didn't decide to work as a finance executive. I when I started my career, I thought that I would work with human resources because all my parents worked in this field. But I applied it to many internships, management trainings programs, and they always offered me roles in finance. They said, well, we think that you have like a profile that is more fit to finance. I never understood exactly why, but here I am. I took okay, maybe they are right. So I decided to give it a chance, and here I am. And the best thing for me about finance, and I don't regret at all because I love it, yeah, is exactly this possibility that it gives you to understand your business from end to end. Because you see, like from the first thing, so if you are like in an industry, you see when you negotiate the raw materials, or when your producers are like whatever producing the raw material that you need, you see the manufacturing process, you see the distribution, you negotiate with your customer, and you see everything reflect in your P&L, in your balance sheet at some point in time. I always say that everything that happens in the business will materialize at some point in time in the P&L, in the balance sheet, or in the cash flow. Yeah, and all of these three together. So if you want to be a finance executive, you have to understand the business very well. And for me, finance is the only function that allows you to do that, because it's end to end. You can see and you can decide whatever you wanted to understand, whatever you want to do within this spectrum. So I think the opportunities are unlimited.
I'm noticing a theme of efficient and strategic finance executive, and amazing that you're able to accomplish all this. And 2 cats. I have 1 cat, and that cat's trying to kill me. So very impressive that you can do all that you do with 2 cats. And I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this.
Thank you. My pleasure, Robert.
Have a great day.
Same to you.